Welcome you all back to the claims and construction contract discussion. This video we'll be discussing about the delays in the construction phase of the EPC contract. This is going to be a quite long phase compared to the design and the procurement, depending on the specifications of the project. And this phase handles most of the delays as it has its own delays, and it also handles the ripple effect from the delays in engineering and procurement. So let's go into the slides. The shortage of required equipments. Constructions, usually mega projects or large projects, always involve high-tech equipments like tower cranes, piling machines, rigging machines, so which need an very specialized equipments, and these equipments may not be always available at the market because they take it for renting from the owners. So they will not be always available. For example, if I have to make an installation in a project of a very high-sized vessel, and let's say it needs 600 ton or 700 ton mobile crane, and the crane may not be available in the exact day or week I'm asking. So that will have an impact on the project delay. Failure of equipments. So construction involves a lot of equipments at the project site. So any equipment fails, so that will obviously contribute to the delay of the project. So preventive maintenance have to be done, and they are being a part of the both safety and quality checklist. Even though there are more protocols to avoid or prevent these kinds of delays, but still they exist in the constructions and they contribute to major delay. Shortage of these supporting installations. So we need for installation of certain equipments, we need to follow certain safety protocols. We need a certain special people who have to be there. For example, for lifting activities, you need a rigger site. You need a rigging plan, and the both has to be on place when it has to happen. So these coordinations might miss, and these shortage of supporting services at site will result in delay for sure. And inadequate equipments. For example, if you have an crane capacity of 100 tons, for example, and we are not able to install or get a crane of 100 ton, we have only 50 ton. So it will automatically increase the burden of the productivity. So a job that has to be done in 10 hours has to be done in 20 hours. So that will contribute to the delay of the project very easily. Shortage of manpower. This is then always a huge delay that happens in every project. So whenever there will be a manpower plan or histogram given by the contractor to the client or the subcontractor to the main contractor, and most of the time it will not be followed for so many reasons, because initially there might not be site access, and when the site access come, the subcontractor or the contractor may not be in a position to mobilize immediately. So those delays are always a huge contributor for the delays in construction industry. Low skill of manpower. So this is the last delay is due to the quantity, and this delay is due to the quality. So even though you have the required manpower, but the required manpower is not able to produce the required productivity or efficiency, then that will contribute to the disruption and productivity loss. So the quality of skilled labor is very much important. That's why in most of the large projects, there will be an approval process for the manpower you are bringing in. But unfortunately, it is to a certain level of higher management, middle management, and the to the level of engineers, project engineers, and design engineers. But it's not to the level of supervisors or laborers, which usually play a major role in the efficiency of the project completion. Delays in mobilization. So, as I already said, there will be delay in mobilization by the contractor or subcontractor. Always the manpower histogram will be parabolic. So, initially there will be a lean manpower mobilized, and then slowly there will be increase in the manpower to the peak, and then again the peak will decrease to a lean manpower. So, this manpower mobilization will not be followed in most of the cases. Even in many of the delay analysis or many of the claims which I have come across, even at the peak time, the full manpower will not be mobilized. So instead of going for a parabolic graph, the graph will be so blunt for a long period of time, and it will be so this will automatically increase the timeline, right? So there will be a delays directly contributing to the project when there is a delay in mobilization of the manpower at the right time. And loose safety rules. There is a myth in the construction industry that always the tight safety rules are the reasons for the delay of the projects. But a fact is that actually loose safety rules are a reason for the delay in project completion. For example, if a safety officer or a safety engineer stops a work when there is no green tag in a scaffolding or a barricade in an excavation, that will be always seen as a wrong, taken in the wrong sense by the project engineers and the project managers that safety is trying to stop the work. That's not the case. That delay is very less when compared to the delay due to a fatality or delay due to a heavy injury, and that kills the reputation of the contractor or the subcontractor, and it takes time for the rectification and taking the people to hospital and keeping the team motivated. Everything will have a direct impact on the project speed. So better to have tight safety rules to avoid more delays, because loose safety rules will always result in delays. And improper construction methods. So as we always say that every construction is very unique, even though we have a generalized methodologies for each kind of activities like excavation, barrigation, concrete pouring, shuttering. So everything may seems to be a repetitive activity, but they do have their own complexity depending on the terrain, depending on the specification of the project, depending on the industry. So any improper methodologies will always result in reworks or result in deficiency or defects leading to the delay. Delay in site handover. In infrastructure projects such as roads, rails, transmission lines, site handover is the biggest delay in the project. For example, the project might be for 2 years. There will be delay in site handover for 2 years. So you just imagine the impact of site handovers will have in the projects. And subcontractors. Usually, even though the main contractor has taken the land, they're doing the work, it involves civil works, electrical works, instrumentation works, interior works. So the subcontractors like interior works are always depend on the other contractors' work completion. So they have to complete the work and hand over the site to them. So in most of the cases, there will be a huge delay and ripple effects. For example, if the civil contractor delays in handing over to mechanical contractor, it automatically delays the mechanical contractor will delay while giving to the electrical contractor and interiors and so on. Client interference. So there are projects which the nature of the project itself will require client interference. So the more the number of client interference without giving the independency for the contractor to work will always lead to the delay. And these delays are not usually visible. That's a big problem. And they will be like disruptions, and that will not be identifiable, but it will result always in a huge delay. Poor client communications. See, a project is built by both the contractor and the employer. And even though if it is being subcontractor, it is a combined mission for the contractor, subcontractor, and the employer. So, but most of the cases, the employer thinks that I have handed over the project to you, I'm paying money, and you have to complete the project. No, this attitude will kill the project rapport to complete the project on time. So, to have a good relationship, you should have a good communication. And the good communication will always result in a smooth completion of the project. And poor coordinations by the client. So I was fortunate in few projects to work with the clients. For example, you have to take a work permit. The work permit has to be taken at 6 a.m. in the morning, and the temperature will be 4 degrees or minus 4 degrees in desert. Let's say it's a winter. And the contractor's project engineer or the interface coordinator will be at the permit office at 6 a.m. But we will see the client sitting there from 5:45. So it was very fortunate to work with such leaders. We just can't say them. The clients, they are leaders. And they run with the contractors and complete the project on time. Of course, yes, contractors has their obligations to complete, but a small support from the employer or the other parties will always help in completing the project on time. Yeah, I rightly said difficulty in obtaining work permits. So these are the usual delays. And a delay in work permit, for example, in deserts or in restricted areas like oil and gas plants, you cannot work in poor lighting. Sometime in winter, you have to close the work at 5, or you have to go for special permission to work with lightings after 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So in such cases, there's 1 hour delay or 2 hour delay in the morning while taking the permit. It will totally diminish your high productive time period of the day. So these delays will accumulate as disruptions and will have a definite impact on your project. And severe weather conditions. Yes, of course, weather is not always predictable, and every geography has its own unforeseen weather conditions. There may be floods, storms, uh, thunderstorms, and dust storms in desert areas. So you can't predict the nature of the weather, and that will always have the impact of the project and where you're. So for example, you might be building in a bridge across the sea, and if the sea is rough and you have an storm conditions, you cannot work. And so is the desert, hill terrains, even plains and plateaus. Everywhere you have the uh, a very unique kind of weather issues in every project. And effect of subsurface conditions, and this being always a debate in most of the projects when you find subsurface structures or subsurface rocks which were not envisaged by the contractor at the time of award. Even though they have done soil testing, they may have not found all the things underneath the site. So if you're finding something below, and that will definitely impact the project if the terrain is different from the topography or the geotechnical reports got, or if even the contractor himself has made a site inspection, and even they have made an soil testing to a certain depth at different points, they might not be able to find all the anomalies within the site. Traffic control and restrictions, and these play a very huge role in infrastructure projects like roadways, railways, metros. So where you always work with the existing traffics, and those systems will have an impact on your productivity and project completion. Yeah. So with this, we are ending this video on the delays in due to construction. And the next video we'll see the delays in project management, which will be an overall view that controls all the three phases: engineering, procurement, and construction. We will see that in next video. And thanks for watching this video. See you later.